So first knowledge we have seen, that is a knowledge of disease. Second we have seen knowledge of medicine. And the third we have seen knowledge of application of drug knowledge to disease knowledge, so that we be able to cure that disease. So we have seen that the physician may use the picture type of materia medica. Physician can use the keynote symptom. The physician can use the red line symptom. Physician can use the different uncommon or the only one uncommon or the only one peculiar symptom. So these are the different ways by which the physicians are practicing, they are treating the patient. जो मेथड आपको suitable है, that method you can use for the treatment of that disease. But remember that we should always use the similar medicines. We should not use the opposite medicine, because in the latter you will see the bad effects of using the medicines which are having the opposite nature. So we will compare our pathy with the allopathy, with the antipathy, uh, after the aphorism number 20 25, or from the aphorism number 23 24, we will compare our pathy with the antipathy. So there you will see how they are harmful. So though we are having the two options to use opposite medicine or the similar medicine, but we should follow the path of the similar medicine. And in that similar medicine you can again follow the keynote symptoms. You can take the picture type of materia medica. You can use the miasmatic medicines. You can use the nosors. You can use the sarcodes. So you can use the different types of medicine for your practice. That is totally depend upon the nature of that physician and the nature of the disease. The fourth knowledge that the physician should possess, that is what is the curative in medicine to what has discovered, that we have seen, as well as the respect to the suitability of the medicine most appropriate according to its mode of action to the case before him, that is the choice of remedy. During the case taking, we find that the symptoms, so many symptoms are narrated by the patient. These symptoms are maybe the common symptoms or maybe the uncommon symptom. So these symptoms may you will find that if the patient is saying that I am having a throat pain because of eating uh, sour things, or because of the eating some cold things. So in the repertory there are so many medicines are there regarding this cold food, cold drinks, or the sour things. So among these medicine we have to select only one medicine that will be a most similar to our patient. All the symptoms they will be similar. All the symptoms of that particular remedy should be very similar. It should not be the same one. The physician must understand and he must know the symptoms, the worth of the symptoms or the value of the symptoms while he is selecting the medicine. So the choice of medicine or the choice of remedy is totally depend upon the what symptoms you are getting from the patient. If you are prescribing only on the basis of the common symptom, the medicine will not act on the patient. So always remember that you have to choose your medicine on the basis of the peculiar symptom, on the basis of uncommon symptom. Now you will ask that what are the uncommon and what is the peculiar symptoms. So uncommon means the symptoms which are not present in that particular disease, or the symptoms which are not common to the patients of that same disease. The patient should have at least one, or should have the at least one peculiar which individualize that patient from the other person. So that one or two or three symptoms we have to choose for the selection of the medicine. And if you are giving the medicine on the basis of this uncommon and a peculiar symptom, then your medicine will become a remedy. We know the difference between the medicine and a remedy. Medicine means we are giving that drug substance on the basis of symptom similarity. It is a potentized drug substance. But if that medicine is able to cure that patient, that potentized medicine will become a remedy to that particular patient or that particular case. And hence, our medicine should always be a remedy. And for that, we have to select our medicine on the basis of the uncommon and a peculiar symptom, characteristic symptom, not on the basis of the common symptom. The physician should understand the value of symptom. His choice of remedy should always be on the basis of the valuable symptoms, and for that we are making the totality of the symptom that we will see in the aphorism number 6. The next knowledge that the physician should possess, that is the knowledge of exact mode of preparation of medicine. So exact mode of preparation of medicine, that means the pharmacy that you have learned in the first year. To be a good practitioner, the physician should know the exact mode of preparation. We should know whether that medicine is prepared by old method or the new method. On the basis of that, you can identify the drug strength of that particular mother tincture. If it is by the new method, the drug strength is uniform, that is 1 by 10. If it is by the old method, then the drug strength will be vary according to the nature solubility of that particular drug. So the true physician must always be provided with the genuineness of that medicine, its strength. He should know always. So he should always confirm that whether it is prepared by authentication or by the proper company, and it is prepared by whether it is prepared by old or new method, whether the quality is check or not. So what happened, Juhi?
Ma'am, you said that we choose the medicine according. We should choose the medicine on the basis of uncommon or peculiar disease.
Hmm.
So
Symptom. Huh.
symptoms means the person should not should have something uncommon symptoms which is not having in the disease.
It is the which is not having in the disease बोलने से अच्छा, we will say that that symptom is present only in that particular patient. For example, I am giving you an example. Now the season is rainy season is there, correct? The patient is having cough, coryza. The patient may have the pain in the throat while deglutition. All these symptoms are very common nowadays. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. So if the patient comes to you and he said that I don't want to drink the water, but I am having a pain in the throat while I am swallowing the solid food. I am having the cough, I am having coryza, and I am having the discharges like this. So thirst usko nahi hai, that is a common or uncommon?
Uncommon.
Uncommon.
How it is uncommon?
Ma'am, now it's already rainy season. So
it is a common, na?
yes, ma'am.
हमको भी कहाँ प्यास लगती है ड्यूरिंग द रेनी सीजन? वी हैव टू ड्रिंक मोर अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर, बिकॉज स्वेटिंग
Yes,
होती नहीं है बॉडी से, इवेपोरेशन ऑफ वाटर होता ही नहीं है. सो वी डोंट वांट टू ड्रिंक द वाटर, करेक्ट?
yes, ma'am.
जितना पानी आप समर में पीते हो उतना ही पानी आर यू टेकिंग ड्यूरिंग द रेनी सीजन और ड्यूरिंग द विंटर सीजन?
No, ma'am.
नो, बट वी हैव टू टेक इट for the
Yes.
proper metabolism, correct? So that will be a
Yes.
common symptom for that patient ki he is not taking the more amount of water. What he will say, I am taking just a sip of water after the long interval of time or the short interval of time according to his nature. But if the second patient comes to you with the same complaint, cough, coryza, pain in throat, and he said that I am drinking half glass of water or the 3/4 glass of water at a time at a short period of interval. Is it common or uncommon?
It's
Uncommon.
uncommon.
How it is uncommon now? How it is uncommon, Juhi?
Ma'am, it's already rainy
Same.
season, so there is
It's already rainy season. There is no evaporation of water from our body.
water. So
Now understand?
yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
that
Ma'am, in both the case, we should give same medicine to both the patient.
how it is possible?
Or yes, ma'am. That is the point. We can means we'll have to give different medicines. So if the
Yes.
symptoms are if the symptoms are not similar, we
Hmm.
give the medicine on the basis of similibus curator.
Hmm.
So means the disease, the symptom of disease and symptom of patient should match.
Hmm.
So I'm totally confused. I'm not getting this point.
See, the patient who is saying that ki I am taking a glass of water at the short period of time, that became a uncommon. On the basis of that, we will select the medicine. Okay, the
Yes,
first patient who is saying that ki I am not taking the water, I am taking only one sip at the short interval or the long interval of time, that will become a common. On the basis of that symptom, we will not select our medicine.
okay, ma'am.
That will keep aside because it is a common. It is present all the 100 individuals in the society, but a person is saying that no, I am taking the water, large amount of water at the short interval of time, that will become a uncommon for the rainy season. So on the basis of that, we label that person as a thirsty patient, and we will find out the medicine against that rubric, thirsty, or the large quantity of water at the short interval of time. Against this rubric, we will find out the medicine. Now clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So which symptom we will take for the prescription? First one or second one?
Second one, uncommon symptom.
Yes. So the first, that is the common, that we will not keep in our totality. We will ask him the other questions. We will ask him about the appetite. We will ask him about his particulars. We will ask him about the discharges from the nose or the type of pain in the throat. On the basis of that, we will select our medicine.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you will read the drugs, suppose you are reading Pulsatilla or the Belladonna, so there you will get the certain uncommon symptoms that we have to find out in the patient. Side by side, जब आप case taking करोगे with the help of Materia Medica, so you will know how the organon is helpful. For example, it is a patient of aconite. So have you learned aconite drug?
No, ma'am.
It is a very short acting
No,
medicine,
ma'am.
and this is prepared from the plant source. We know it, Aconite nipalis. We know it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this aconite patient, in the acute condition, patient predict his death. Okay, I will die on this XYZ day and on this XYZ time. For example, the patient will say that okay, I will die. Definitely, I will die on Saturday at 10 a.m. So he is predicting his time of death. Is it uncommon or common?
It's uncommon, ma'am.
It's uncommon.
Uncommon.
Nobody wants to
Uncommon.
die and nobody will
Yes,
predict the
ma'am.
time. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So either that patient is having the psychiatric history or that patient कुंडली वगैरह बनाता होगा या that patient is आपका मजाक बना रहा होगा. But that patient is saying. Correct?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that is an uncommon symptom. On the basis of that, you will select the medicine. जो दूसरा patient है वो अगर डर रहा है मरने के लिए, he said that कि please give me the medicine. I am very fear of this disease. I am very much fearful by this COVID. So मुझे कुछ तो भी prevention के लिए आपका वो immune booster दो, arsenic and all this thing. Is it a common or uncommon?
It's uncommon, ma'am.
Yes. क्योंकि वो आपके पास चल के आया है and the fear is showing on his face. He is asking for the medicine. डर तो सबको ही लगता है, लेकिन वो आपको medicine लेने के लिए आपके पास आया है. So that will again become uncommon. So these type of symptoms you have to identify. तो ये एक रात की बात नहीं है कि आपको समझ में आ गया, हाँ आपको anatomy, physiology सब आ गया. Now you can differentiate between the uncommon and the common symptom. This is purely observation and experience. आप पैथोलॉजिकल सिम्टम्स कॉमन अनकॉमन बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे से डिफ्रेंशिएट कर लोगे बाय लर्निंग द पैथोलॉजी एंड बाय लर्निंग द मेडिसिन. लेकिन ये जो मेंटल सिम्टम्स रहेंगे या फिजिकल जनरल्स रहेंगे, हाउ टू टेक इट फ्रॉम द पेशेंट, इट इज़ वेरी मच डिफिकल्ट. हनीमान ऑलवेज से दैट कि व्हाइल यू आर टेकिंग अ केस, आपके 100 पेजेस भर जाएंगे, बट दैट इज नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट, इट इज ऑफ नो यूज. आपके पास 100 पेजेस है केस टेकिंग के, वो कचरे के डिब्बे में डालो. इफ यू आर हैविंग ओनली 5 अनकॉमन सिम्टम्स, दैट इज सफिशिएंट टू प्रिस्क्राइब. क्लियर?
Yes, ma'am.
सो वो 100 पेजेस या 100 सिम्टम्स भी रहे, उन्होंने कहा है कि लिव इट, burn it, you take out only the uncommon symptoms and give the medicine, because our drug proving is on the basis of that only. We are not running behind that common symptoms. Let it be for the diagnosis. Clear now? No confusion?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. So
Thank you, ma'am.
okay, the next one that we have seen, the preparation of medicine. So we should always check the genuineness of that particular medicine. All the medicines are prepared and it is dispensed, we know, in the vehicle. So if you are using the external application, you have to ask that patient ki, if it is ointment, shake it well, keep. So that instructions we have learned in the first year, जो आपने labeling करते वक्त लिखा था, shake it well, keep it away from the sunlight, keep reach out from the children. So ये सब आपको उसको चीजें बतानी है. If it is अगर 50 मिलीसीमल स्केल में अगर आप दे रहे हो, again you have to give the proper instructions for the administration of that 50 millisiemal scale. The doses of trituration, if you want to give it in the water, you have to give the instructions in your prescription, you dissolve it in a proper amount of water and then take it. So the physician must know the preparation, that is the genuineness of the medicine, and he should know how to prescribe it, in which vehicle we have to prescribe it, and how to apply it if it is an external application. So in short, we should have the knowledge of pharmacy, and that's why we learn it in the first year. Clear? Clear
Yes,
or
ma'am.
not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The next
Yes,
knowledge
ma'am.
that physician should possess, that is the quantity of it required, that is the proper dose. What is the meaning of this proper dose? What is the meaning of this proper dose? Which chapter we have learned in the first year for this dose?
Posology.
Correct, posology. We know the science of dose and the importance of dose also. We have seen the repetition of dose, when to stop, where to stop, and why to stop for the repetition. And if unnecessarily repetition is there, the patient will not get the cure. If the patient require only 2 doses, and if you ask that patient to take the 4 to 6 doses, then that case will spoil. And hence the knowledge of this proper dose should possess by the physician. The question of the dose is related to the rapid, gentle, and permanent cure. So we should know the posology, importance of posology. We should select the similimum medicine, plus we should give the proper potency, and we should give the proper repetition to the dose. We know the advantages of the minimum dose. At the same time, we also know the advantages or disadvantages of giving the larger doses, and hence the proper dose selection is important knowledge for the physician. The minimum dose is applied for the patient for where we do not require the unnecessary sufferings, but in some conditions, certain exceptions are also there, where we are giving the large doses, where we require the palliation, where the patient is incurable. So there we can use the larger doses. And if that patient is having the functional diseases, we have seen ki the primary on the primary level of the SORA, syphilis, and psychosis, we can give the larger doses. So in short, we are giving the dose on the basis of the susceptibility of the patient, on the basis of the nature of the disease, on the basis of the intensity of the disease, on the basis of condition of the patient, and for the and past history of that person, disease ki past history or the medicine ki past history. On the basis of that, we are giving the proper dose. If that person is having a more pathological condition or the more pathological destruction, the patient is at the third or the fourth stage, here we have to give the lower potency because the susceptibility is very less. We know now that axiom, that is a lower the susceptibility, lower the potency, higher the susceptibility, higher the potency. So generally we are giving the higher potency in the younger age and we are giving the lower potency in the older people. So all this knowledge we should have regarding that dose. So the three things that we have seen in the posology, that is the similimum medicine, proper potency and a proper time of repetition of the dose. इसमें से सिर्फ सिलेक्शन आपका प्रॉपर हो गया, लेकिन दो चीजें अगर आपकी गलत हो गई, so that will not be helpful for the highest ideal of cure. So the knowledge of dose, that is the posology, should be possessed by that physician. Otherwise सिलेक्शन ऑफ रेमेडी जो है इम्पोर्टेंस, वो पेशेंट को काम में नहीं आएगा. अननेसेसरी रिपीटेशन और अननेसेसरी हायर पोटेंसी विल स्पॉइल दैट केस, एंड हेंस वी शुड नो द चैप्टर पोसोलॉजी. क्लियर?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next
Yes, ma'am.
knowledge that
Yes,
the
ma'am.
physician should possess, that is a repetition of the dose. So that is again comes from the posology. So we know कि the repetition of doses कौन से condition पे करते हैं. That is the nature of medicine. If the medicine is short acting, then we can repeat it. If that patient, if that medicine is having the alternating action, again we can repeat it. For example, belladonna, aconite, Rustox. So we can give that medicine repeatedly because they are the short acting and they are having the alternative type of action. If that medicine is deep acting, if it is a constitutional medicine, so again there are the two ways. Either you can give the lower potency repeatedly, or you can give the higher potency once in a month and keep that patient on the placebo till the action of the medicine is over. Then the second thing we have seen in the repetition of the dose, that is the nature of disease. Same thing again here also we are applying. If that disease is having the pathological changes much more, then here we are giving the lower potency. Functional level पे अगर वो disease है तो we are giving the higher potency. And the third one, of course, the reaction of the patient. If the patient says that I am feeling better, so we should stop the repetition there. Have you remember that two lines which are given by Dr. Kane in the pharmacy? If the patient is saying continuous relief of the patient, do not repeat the medicine. If the patient is in a standstill condition, then only you can repeat your medicine. So these things are important and these things should know to the physician while he is repeating doses. And finally, he knows the obstacle to recovery. So the obstacles to cure or the obstacle to recovery. So these obstacle means the cause of the disease. So the cause of the disease that we will see in the aphorism number 5, but a very short explanation I am giving here. Ki there are the certain factors which which causes the obstruction to the cure, which will not help the medicine to cure that patient. So such obstacles to the cure may be different to the different case. So they may be the exciting cause, they may be the maintaining cause, or they may be the fundamental cause. So the exciting cause or the exciting causes, they are responsible for the acute diseases. If that exciting cause persists, then this is known as the maintaining cause. And for the chronic diseases, the causes which are responsible, they are the fundamental causes. So the exciting causes means the condition which excites or which derange our vital force. For example, that patient is eating continuously the outside food, then that patient may have a diarrhea after the some span of time or after 15 to 16 days. So that eating outside food or the contaminated food and water will became a exciting cause for that particular diarrhea, for that particular symptom. if that patient is भीग रहा है बारिश में continuously 1 2 3 4 days, and after that if he is having a coryza, उसको सर्दी हो जाती है, so that will become a exciting for that cause for that particular symptom. So which excites your immunity, which excites your vital force, that will be a exciting cause. So exciting cause ऐसे छोटे छोटे रहते हैं, so they are responsible for the acute disease. The next one, if you are taking the medicine for that particular cough and coryza, but still that cough and coryza is not getting cure, your physician is giving you, or that physician is giving the patient a proper similar medicine, posology he is following, but still that patient is not getting the relief, then this is known as the obstruction to cure. वो रिलीफ उसको मिल ही नहीं रहा है. Then again, what to do in this such situation? Physician has to ask about the exciting cause. अगर आपने वो पेशेंट को बोला है कि बारिश में अभी मत भिगो, हाँ, because this leads to the coryza to you, so don't wait in the रेनी सीजन, बारिश में जितना आप दूर रहोगे उतना अच्छा है, लेकिन दैट पेशेंट इज नॉट लिसनिंग टू द फिजिशियन, अगेन एंड अगेन वो बारिश में भीग रहा है, सो this mean leads to the obstruction to the cure. So that exciting factor now convert into the maintaining one, वो उसको maintain कर रहा है. So ये obstruct भी कर रहा है cure को, at the same time it is now a maintaining cause for that particular patient. So this maintaining cause and the exciting cause, they are responsible for the acute and the subacute diseases. The second thing is the fundamental causes, that is the myosomes, which are responsible for the chronic diseases. So we know SORA, syphilis and psychosis, these are the three myosomes. So the SORA transfer into the psychosis, and the psychosis can be transferred into the syphilitic one by not taking the proper medication or by the palliation. So these three myosomes are responsible for the chronic disease, and exciting and the maintaining causes, they are responsible for the acute disease. So if these causes are hindering the cure, then they are known as the obstruction of cure. So while taking the case, we should know कि पेशेंट का जो कॉज है वो बार बार बीच में नहीं आना चाहिए, अदरवाइज जो आपने मेडिसिन सिलेक्ट की है, the medicine, the potency that you have selected, it is of no use. So you should have the knowledge of obstruction to the recovery. Then the next is, so that the restoration may be permanent, then he understand how to treat judiciously and rationally, and he is a true practitioner of healing art. So if that physician is having all these knowledges, and if he is treating that patient judiciously and rationally, what do you mean by judiciously and rationally?
Judiciously means with good judgment or sense,
Yes.
and rationally by logical means.
Yes, on the correct way, on the basis of the easily comprehensible principle, by using all his knowledges. If it is treating the patient and that medicine is now converted into the remedy, then that practitioner will be a true practitioner of healing art, because our pathy is a healing art. Why he used the word art here? Because the you will learn the science in the college, you will learn all the things, all the comprehensible principle, all the necessary things in the human body. You will learn all the medicines, you will learn all the doses and all the things in the 4 to 5 years in your academic life. But when you open your OPD or whenever you are practicing with the patient, how to apply this knowledge on that particular patient, that is your art. You know pathology, you know physiology, you know the palliation, you know suppression, you know thousands of medicines. But if you are not able to select the proper similar medicine, if you are not able to select the proper potency and the reputation, so that will be a failure to you. So by applying your science, by applying your knowledge, if you are healing the patient, if you are treating the patient nicely, so that will become an art. So then and then only, Divyashri, what happened? then and then only you will become a true practitioner of healing art. So all these knowledges should be possessed by the physician, and he should be apply it logically, judiciously, and rationally to treat his patient. So finally that medicine will convert it into the remedy, and he will become a practitioner of the healing art. Clear? So here we have seen the different knowledges, that is the knowledge of disease, knowledge of medicine, knowledge of application of the disease drug knowledge to the disease knowledge, knowledge of preparation of medicine, knowledge of dose, knowledge of choice of remedy, knowledge of repetition of the dose, and the knowledge of obstruction to the recovery. So all these 6 to 7 knowledges should possess by the physician so that he can complete his mission of the highest ideal of cure. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Only 4 to 5 yes. Sadiq? Sadiq is here? Sadiq is here?
Yes, ma'am.
समझ लगा?
Yes, ma'am. नहीं
What
मैम
are
आज
the
पहले लेक्चर है
knowledges?
ना.
What are the knowledges of physician?
मॅम पहिले लेक्चर आहे आज. पहिले लेक्चर करतोय आज.
हो ना, मग आज सुरुवातीला मी शिकवलं ते. आज पहिल्यांदा शिकवते मी पण knowledges of physician.
वाचावं लागेल एकदा.
वाच ना, तुझ्या डोळ्यासमोरच आहे स्क्रीनवर. बरं, मी तुला नेक्स्ट याच्यात परत हाच क्वेश्चन विचारेल. सतीश,
नेक्स्ट लेक्चर ना.
मग तू गायब राहशील?
नाही नाही मॅम.
नाही ना? सतीश?
नाही नाही.
Satish is here?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the knowledges of physician?
मॅम माझं पहिलं लेक्चर आहे आज.
हो का? बरं, ठीक आहे. नेक्स्ट टाइम. सौरभ. सौरभ चव्हाण. मार्क हिम ऍबसेंट. आदित्य. सतीश झाला.
Okay, ma'am.
साक्षी.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the knowledges of physician?
Physician clearly perceives what is to be cured in diseases.
ते वाचू नको राजा. मी आता जे तुम्हाला नॉलेजेस सांगितले तू मला सांग.
Sorry, ma'am.
कुठे लक्ष होतं मग?
उद्या सांगते. मॅम उद्या सांगते.
उद्या गणपती बाप्पा तुझ्या कानात येऊन सांगणार आहे 7 नॉलेजेस?
नाही मॅम, मी वाचते एकदा.
ओके. जयश्री.
Yes, ma'am.
After a long time, Jayashree, right?
Yes, ma'am. Today is my
Ah.
first lecture.
Yes. Tell me the knowledges of physician now.
And the first knowledge is knowledge of disease.
Very good.
That he must be.
Give me the
he
list
must be
only
know-
because only 1 minute is left.
Okay.
Give me the list fast.
Okay. The knowledge of diseases. Second is the knowledge of application of drug to the disease. The third one is knowledge of exact mode of preparation of medicines. Then knowledge of repetition of doses. And
This one.
बाकीचे दोन माहित.
हे काय चॉईस ऑफ रेमेडी दाखवते ना मी करसरनी.
हा